Okay, we're back at belly fat. This is definitely a topic so many of you have asked questions about. So I've done a lot of videos on belly fat in here. So I want to make sure that I give you as many ways of looking at belly fat as possible so that you can find your door in to losing belly fat. So on this video, we're going to talk specifically about why belly fat happens, and then I actually want to talk about what I call a protocol. This would be like something that I gave a patient when I was working with patients one-on-one. If they came to me and said, hey, I got belly fat, this is what I would tell them to do. Okay? You ready? Here we go. Let's dive in. First, we have to understand what belly fat is. So we can't just call all fat the same. Just so we're all clear, there are many different reasons that our body puts fat in different parts. And what's interesting about the belly is it's not just extra glucose. There actually are hormones that your body stores in belly fat. So if this is a new concept to you, I really want you to think about this for a second, that fat is really truly a storage pantry for excess. So it's an excess glucose. When it can't get glucose into the cells, we call this insulin resistance. Then what it does is it'll start to store it as fat. But the same thing goes with hormones. So let's think this through for a moment. If you're under a lot of stress, then all of a sudden all that extra cortisol goes to belly fat. If you're exposed to a lot of endocrine disruptors, whether it's in food or in like beauty products or even fabrics and clothing have a lot of chemicals. An endocrine disruptor is a man-made chemical that your body doesn't know what to do with, so it stores it in fat, specifically belly fat. So it's a little more complicated because it's more than just insulin resistance, which is why it's harder to lose. Now, one thing that I don't think gets discussed enough is that actually there's a lot of communication going on between your gut and your liver. The liver, by the way, is the fat burning organ of all fat in the body. So the liver is constantly deciding if it's going to burn fat or should it burn sugar, depending on what's in the bloodstream. And what's interesting about this visceral fat around our belly is that it actually signals to the liver that there is a crisis on hand and that there is an inflammatory response that is needed. And so the liver orchestrates this systemic inflammatory response. And what's really interesting, I want to specifically talk about one type of chemical that gets signaled off of belly fat that triggers the liver to create a systemic inflammatory response, because it's important when it comes to losing weight, and it's called an adipokine. Belly fat is an adipokine storm. It's a storm of information that tells the body there is a crisis, specifically the liver, and that it needs to create inflammation to handle that crisis. So this is why they say that the belly is like your waist circumference is one of the biggest predictors to what chronic disease you're going to get, to heart disease, and to longevity. It is a major issue. If you have a lot of belly fat, because of these adipokines that will create this inflammatory reaction, it is the most toxic to your health. So this is why I want to help you get rid of it, okay? So now that we understand it's gnarly, it's not just vanity, it's like gnarly as far as your overall health. Now that we're really clear it's more than just glucose issue, that it's actually a hormonal issue, how do you get rid of it? And here's what I'm going to tell you, that there are two really important ways that you can actually get rid of the belly fat. The first, and this is the one that I will continue to say over and over and over again, but when you cycle in low carb, that is the fastest path to losing belly fat. It stops that influx of glucose from coming in and can actually trigger your liver to start burning fat, not just in places like around the liver or other areas, but specifically because there is this connection with the portal vein from the liver to your visceral fat. It will signal to your visceral fat to burn. Now let's go back to metabolic switching. I've been talking to you guys about this, that the whole purpose of switching over into this fat burning place is because your intelligent body says, hey, glucose has been coming down for a hot moment, so therefore we stored some glucose elsewhere. Why don't we go burn that? And when you go on the ketogenic diet, that is what's happening. You are telling your liver to go burn the fat. And the first place it's going to go to is your belly. So there's a lot of negative thoughts, it's positive and negative, but the reason keto keeps coming back around is because it works. And it works for your belly fat because it has this communication with your liver. Now, should you be doing keto all the time? No. I teach you keto cycling. Women, I've been teaching you keto cycling. Eat Like a Girl is ready for pre-order depending on when you watch this. I have a whole book on what I call ketobiotic, which is a little higher form of carbohydrates in your diet that will still let you go after this belly fat, but will support your hormones and your microbiome. I hired 2 amazing professional chefs to create incredible recipes in here. So please, if you're interested in losing belly fat, go order Eat Like a Girl. I'm going to give you more. Don't click off, but I just want you to know I hear you. I know you're concerned, and because belly fat has this connection to chronic disease, I want us to handle it, okay? So the keto diet is great, and cycling keto. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about some interesting research on this. This isn't just me saying it. It's not just my clinical experience watching thousands use the ketogenic diet for belly fat. There's actual hard science on this. And it's really interesting. So one of the things that I love is there was this 2020 study, and they saw, because some of you are going to say, well, how long should I do the keto diet? So this one was for 4 weeks. When people switched over to the keto diet for 4 weeks, they saw both a dramatic change in both their hunger and their cravings. They also saw that they had 102% increase, 102% increase in dietary restraint, meaning that they found it was much easier to do. So I really want us to rebrand keto as it is. Keto mixed with a fasting lifestyle is like your natural Ozempic. I got another book for you. It's called Eat Like a Girl. You will now know for your feminine body how to metabolically switch. I hope it helps. So those of you who don't want to spend money on these weight loss drugs, you're nervous about the side effects, I am here to tell you, try 4 weeks. The protocol, 4 weeks of the keto diet. My version is ketobiotic. It brings up your net carbs a little more. I recommend 50 net carbs. A net carb, just so we're clear, is your total carbohydrate minus the fiber. That gives you the net carbs. You have 50 net carbs to play with. And Eat Like a Girl, I have a whole bunch of lists of my favorite carbs that you can use when you're on these keto days. So here's the thing, this 102 increase in restraint is absolutely right. But when you look at this through the lens of the ketobiotic, where I bring it up to 50 net carbs, it is sustainable. If you've been following me and it's sustainable for you, put it in the comments. So we hit this place where we're like, I'm tired of belly fat. Okay, 4 weeks. Starting from the moment you looked at this video, 4 weeks, where every single day you are keeping your carb load under 50 net carbs. That is your focus. Now, if you attach a fasting window onto that, in Fast Like a Girl, I talked about 6 different windows. So maybe it's an intermittent fast of 13 hours. Maybe you're going to attach my gut reset fast of 24 hours. Just take your keto diet you're going to do over the next 4 weeks, and then every day attach a fasting window. And there are 6 different lengths. I'm not going to go through them all right now. They are in Fast Like a Girl. I also put them in Eat Like a Girl. So I have a lot of resources on these. But every single day, what I want you to do is keep your net carbs under 50 grams. And I want you to attach a different length fasting window. If this is brand new to you, maybe your length is 12 hours. If you're more experienced, maybe you're ready to try a 24-hour. And then when you eat food, the one macro you're looking at, I know some of you are going to ask me about protein. Let's not overcomplicate this. The one macro you're going to look at is that carbohydrate macro, and you're going to keep it under 50 net carbs. Now, a little bit of a nuance that I would encourage you on this one. If you really want to go that extra step to get yourself healthy and lose this visceral fat, I really encourage you to make sure those carbs come from nature's carbs. Just throw out the breads and the cakes, the pastas, all of that. Make it sure that it's coming from fruits and vegetables and root vegetables like potatoes, so that you're getting plenty of nutrients in. But what that does is, remember, we're trying to send a signal to the liver and say, this is where the fat is, liver. It's right here. It's around the belly. Go get it. And the keto diet does that because you go into this fat burning place, and it's the liver that burns fat. And then the liver immediately goes to the waste first, which is amazing. So I'm really excited for you to try this. Please, if you have lost belly fat using these videos, using the keto diet, using fasting, can you please put it in the comments so that the newbies know that this works? I mean, what have you got to lose? And I really want to shout out to those of you who are on the weight loss drugs. If you want to get off of them, try this and then see if you can taper down, because what research shows is that it kills hunger. I mean, most of us who have built fasting lifestyles will tell you the same thing. But it's that fasting window with the keto diet combination for 4 weeks. Try it for 4 weeks and then report back. You're that powerful. I want you to believe in yourself. Okay? You got this. I know you're struggling to lose weight. It may be your fasting length. So in this video, I'm going to show you the perfect fasting length to unstick weight loss. In fact, it's such an incredible tool for weight loss. I think you should start with fasting before you change your food to be able to get into that door in for losing weight.